When you play the Game of Thrones, you
subscribe and like,
or you die. There is no middle ground.
Alright, hello YouTube, and welcome back to the Grease Comedy YouTube channel. Today's video, we are going to be looking at, will Stannis take Winterfell? And if so, how will he do it? But before we get into the video, if you guys like to like, subscribe, and comment, please do. It helps the channel grow. Reach your people that might like this content as well. And let's get into the video. I also wanted to say before this video starts, if you wanted to follow the Twitter and Instagram for the channel, it's a better way of getting in contact with me. Or if you just want to see my personal life a bit more, I would follow those. Those will be in the description below. So, getting into the video, Stannis, will he take Winterfell? I do believe so. Now, I think there's a couple pieces of evidence I want to bring up before we get into how I believe Stannis will actually take Winterfell. Because the first thing is Winds of Winter is going to start with a battle, right? It's going to be Winds of Winter is going to start with a battle, the Battle of Ice, more or less. This is going to be the Frey forces mixed with the Manderly forces. They're two separate forces kind of converging on Stannis. Now, we've gotten a lot of detail and kind of foreshadowing that the lake that they are fishing out of right now is likely to collapse if a lot of heavy weight is put on it. Now, we've heard this from multiple characters, so what I've kind of theorized on how he's going to win this first initial battle is he lights a fire kind of at the top of this tower every single night that they're encamped here. And this is to tell, really, where they are. So all of Roos's scouts, the Frey scouts, whoever, are going to know where the camp is based on the tower's location. So what I believe is going to happen, when the Freys get closer, they're going to turn off the tower and then light a fire in the actual, like, lake. So that will attract all the Freys. They don't know the land that well. They'll go towards the light, kind of like a fly, basically. And they will eventually sink into the lake and drown and die. With the flip side of that also being, I think they're going to get caught behind the Manderly, or, you know, in front of the Manderlys as well. And the Manderlys, I think, are going to flip sides. So the Manderlys flipping sides and the Freys kind of dying here, it's a big turn of shift of power from Roose to Stannis. Now, Roose does this thinking, okay, we have less mouths to feed and all that, and also this should weaken Stannis regardless. That's not the effect it's going to have, in my opinion. Stannis is a very smart commander. He's kind of planned out if they do try to attack. Now, with this being said, that's all good and dandy, but how are you going to take Winterfell? So there's a couple things I think you can point to where Stannis knows there's unrest going on in Winterfell. He can, you know, he's gonna talk to Theon. He'll know. So he's gonna know that there's a lot of unrest going on right now, and this would be a perfect time to try and break into the castle. But what I think is going to happen is that you have all these dead Freys, right? And you have the Manderlys. I think why the pink letter actually ends up saying that Stannis is dead and that they have his magic sword, or Ramsay, I think, actually wrote it, but he has the magic sword, is that I think what's going to end up happening is a lot of the Baratheon men or some of the northern clans that are with Stannis are going to dress up like Freys. They're going to go back to Winterfell with the Manderly force as well and say, we killed Stannis, here's the proof, here's the sword, and then basically Ramsay and Roose, they're going to get a little, you know, okay, he's actually dead. You know, that's, you know, it's crazy or whatever. And they'll kind of have a feast or whatever. And it's going to be very similar to what happens in Troy with the Trojan horse, where when they're all maybe sleeping or they're all not paying attention, these forces within the castle, they can open the gates. The rest of the Stannis forces can come through, and then you can just butcher them and then take the castle. So that's more or less how I look at how Stannis can take the castle. I've talked about it quite a bit. A little different from my first Stannis predictions video I ever did, because that was kind of my first video. It was like a pink letter / northern predictions, and this is actually a throwback image because this is the image that was in my first thumbnail. So yeah, that is kind of how I see Stannis taking Winterfell. Now, after that, I will say Stannis will probably die. I think he will end up dying holding Winterfell back from the others in the White Walkers, so that the rest of the North can try to you know, just buying them time so that they can get south, because I think the real battle is going to be fought kind of in the neck region, in that area of the world. Maybe it gets even further. Maybe we have our big last battle at like King's Landing or something. That'd be really cool. But that is kind of my ideas for how Stannis is going to end up taking Winterfell and how he will do it. So thank you guys all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.